So.
Okay, Miriam.
Okay.
Chantal. So talk to me a little bit. Personal branding is everything that I love doing, and you love doing it too because it's so important about your visual representation, right?
Yes.
And building that digital reputation. I had a conversation with somebody a couple days ago, and I was sitting down with her and I was talking to her about photos, professional photos, because she really wants to get some new ones done. She hasn't had any done, any corporate headshots ever done, right?
Okay.
She's been 4 years into the field. She works in biotech as a project manager.
Yep.
She's not really running her own business or anything, but she wants to network. She wants to get out there. She wants to build a community. And so I was talking to her about like little things items that could be a representation of her brand. Like, do you want to be the woman that always wears the pearl necklace to all of your speaking engagements?
Yeah.
Or the guy in the hat? You know, we think of Quentin alums and his big giant hat that he wears all the time. What's your advice for finding those little pieces that represent yourself in a brand? Like those little objects.
Yes. I think for a lot of people, it has to do with either their current personal style and what how their personality reflects in their style. And I would say also what their dream is.
A dream. Tell me more about that.
Because oftentimes if people have a dream like, hey, this is like the business that I want to have or the person that I want to be, what does that person look like and how is that different from how you are right now? Does that make sense?
It does.
So a lot of those pieces can come into play with looking at that dream person.
Okay.
Like, where does that dream person shop? What does that dream person wear? Is that person a thrifter? You know, like, how do you want to incorporate things that aren't necessarily, doesn't have to be style related, but they can be incorporated into that ideal brand that person, it's a way to like bridge the gap between like, I'm not sure what that could be, and here's a way to look at it.
I love that. I feel like that would be so powerful because you're imagining yourself as a super successful professional in the future. Like, what does Chantal in 5 years look like?
Yeah.
Is her house clean? What does she have laying around? Is she wearing a fur coat? Like a $10,000 coat? What's going on?
Yeah.
So it really does help you manifest, right?
Yes.
And figuring out those goals and how you're going to get there.
Totally.
And having visual reminders has got to be super powerful too.
Well, I think another thing too is that sometimes some people don't know necessarily what that dream person looks like.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Whether it's in 2 years or 5 years or 15 years or whatever. And so sometimes that can be a really eye-opener as to how authentic you actually are being currently.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Authenticity is huge with not just building your own reputation, but being okay with yourself and sticking to your values and sticking to that focus. Because if you don't have that self-love, self-appreciation, and those values, you're not going to get where you want to be.
Exactly.
It's so distracting.
Exactly. And that's a really hard thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That even, when I have some clients that come in and want to get photographed, they're like, oh, you'll work your magic. And I'm like, the magic is that you are being you.
Yeah.
That's what the magic is.
Absolutely.
And I'm just here to capture that.
Right.
It's not 90% me and 10% you. It should be 90% you and 10% me. And I'm just bringing that out of you. But it's really tough because I have to have these hard conversations with people. And I have to point blank sometimes ask them, in a consultation process, why are you afraid of being you?
Right.
And for a lot of people, they're like, they don't know the answer and they
Yeah.
don't know how to start that journey. And so it's tough because, your original question is such an open, ended, not streamlined answer.
Where are we gonna take this? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because it's really a journey that someone has to take and just take the best bits and pieces that they can think of along the way.
Right. It's really challenging when I hold personal branding workshops because it takes so much deep reflection. You have to think about all of these moving parts. Like, what do your friends and family go to you for?
Yep.
Like, what are you the expert at that people rely on you for?
Yep.
How do you make people feel? Or how do you want to make people feel?
Right.
And what's the visual representation of that? How are you going to deliver that with your services or your solution, and make sure that you align with your personal brand so that anytime somebody thinks of your name, they feel that feeling, or they get that visual representation. Is it the pearl necklace? Is it the big hat? What is it? The giant smile? For me, it's unicorns and sparkles. Every time somebody sees unicorns, they send me a picture on Snapchat or on Instagram. And it's amazing that a personal brand and digital reputation built that representation and top of mind awareness.
And it's amazing that one little thing can make people think of you.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
It is
but
so
also
cool.
amazing. You know, it's equally as challenging as it is amazing at the same time.
Right.
To get to that point where you can have that one thing that's like, all right, that's that person.
Yeah.
You know, like in a symbol in a nutshell.
Yes. It's so crazy.